Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, very chill video. We're gonna go on a drive in the E92 M3, specifically the manual version. And the main point of this video is for me to give you, or try to give you, as much of information on how it feels to drive an E92 M3 in a manual version. Manual version right there. Now, this car, I've driven many other manual cars before, and no other car was like this one. This one is definitely more difficult to drive, mainly because of the throttle actuators. They are very sensitive, and it's very difficult to get your downshifts and your gear changes, specifically first to second. And if you're brave enough to go from second to first, also those. Now, previous video, E92 M3, got the lip still looking fantastic, magnetic plates. Nobody stole it because I do take it out every single time. And yeah, let me give you a little quick walk around before we actually get into it. Okay, so now without further ado, let's get in and go for a drive. And few disclaimers: this car is already warmed up, but even though it is already warmed up, I am going to give it a second or two. So pop in the key, back to neutral, turn off the radio. First off, I usually press the start button, get everything ready, get all the dash lights to come off. Don't forget your seatbelts on. Check engine, it's on by default. You turn on the car once the three beeps or gongs stop, and here we are. First off, whenever this car is cold, what works for me is moving off without the M Sport or the power on. So when the car is cold, the first three accelerations, it feels like the throttle actuator is kind of sticking open. So if I was to press the acceleration pedal and then let go, it would still kind of stay open for 1 or 2 seconds. They were rebuilt on better components, so I'm assuming, you know, it takes 1 or 2 goes for them to be lubricated properly. Now, whenever I'm moving off, again, I go without the power, I go without the M button, because this is kind of the easiest to move off from when the car is cold. I don't go beyond 2000 RPM, and whenever I change my gear for the first time, this is what I do right here. From first over to neutral, I still keep my clutch in, but then I pop it into second. You have to give the actual oil a chance to circulate through the gearbox. If you were to go from first to second, on cold, you will hear grinding. I found out about this the hard way, so do keep this in mind. It looks like the car is turning. Let's turn on the M mode just so I can give you a nice downshift. Now, there are a lot of cars on the road, so I'm probably going to do a bunch of cuts. Let me get the windows up just so you hopefully don't hear the wind. There is public holiday on. But anyway, as I was saying, what I usually do is I wait for the oil to warm up. Not only on this gauge right here, I'm not sure how well you can see, there's actually a gauge that kind of builds up, but I wait for the oil reading to be done before I push it over 2000 RPM. Now, I may be a little dramatic here. I do go to around 3000 RPM, but only when this gauge, the yellow gauge and red gauge, do fall into their place. But other than that, I would not go past the 2000 RPM range. Now, if you are going to be hearing some squeak in the background, especially first, second gear in neutral or with like very low RPM, it's because I have to replace my CV joint that is connected from the drive shaft to the rear differential. So that's something that I will do when my exhaust will come. Very uneven area. Let's be really careful. We do not want to scratch our front lip. Now, one thing that I found with this car is that it is better to be slower and it is better to be more careful, because you do not want to be fucking up this car at any way possible. There you go. That was my water bottle, if you heard it. I've recently started using EDC, so right here, let's toggle it on. My main reason for using EDC is to have less of a travel time or a bounce back in the suspension, mainly because of my GT4 lip. GT4 lip lowered the front slightly, so whenever I'm going on like an uneven road, I don't want the suspension to go down too far and hit the front lip, because what can happen is the front lip can crack and we can even pull off our front bumper, which I am not about that. Currently we're driving to a place where I can show you how to better kind of manage first and second gear to move off, because a lot of people have complained about first and second gear, how difficult it is to get it done correctly, especially when driving a bit more aggressively, because the car will throw if you do not do it properly. And I will also talk about downshifts, because downshifts are so good in this car. Unbelievably good, but the problem is that downshifts aren't easy in this car. In fact, I would say that this car is more difficult to downshift in compared to many other cars, mainly because of the throttle actuators, which are really aggressive. And again, I will get to this point. Okay, I've waited for all of the cars to pass, and essentially the trick is, if you're going really aggressive from first to second, what you want to do is you want to apply a bit of throttle or acceleration as you're releasing off the clutch. Now you kind of want to know what you're doing, you need to get used to it, you don't want to be burning your clutch, but this is what helps. So first gear, moving off, letting go of the clutch. Like what I've done there, if there was a glass of water here, it wouldn't slush around. Like this was so smooth that, like, honestly, with your eyes closed, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that it was a first to second gear change. Like, it was so smooth. Like, it's really difficult to explain and convey the feeling, but it was so smooth, especially with downshift. So if you do the downshift correctly, then you don't feel the shift. Like, you don't feel anything. And I mean, you don't feel anything. You can hear the car, but like there's no sudden push forward or backwards. Now it will happen if you overshoot or undershoot, which I will talk about, but you should not be able to feel anything. Now if you are accelerating very gently but you're still having issues with first to second, because I've heard that people do have it, because I was literally told those things. The thing that you can do is, instead of applying like moderate amount of acceleration, what you want to do is you want to hold your foot just where the acceleration pedal actually works, because there's a bit of that dead zone, and that's where you kind of want to hold your foot, because it will help your RPM spike and there won't be that kind of hit, if you kind of get what I mean. Because, you know, the RPM of the gearbox and RPM of the engine will move instead of the RPM of the, I guess, engine going back to where the gearbox is, or the other way around, because the RPM of the engine falls. So like, it feels so smooth, like unbelievably smooth. My friend who has an automatic is telling me that I drive a lot smoother and better than his automatic, which I guess proves a point. Now, before I will get to talking about downshifts, I am running a short shifter with a weighted gear knob. Short shifter essentially reduces the throw of the gear, I guess, lever by 15%. It's what I have it set to, which is very important because there is obviously less travel time, it's smaller, and the kind of, I think it uses polyurethane rubber. I might have butchered this, but essentially it's making the change so much more smoother. It doesn't feel like a sponge. Original E92 M3 manual gearbox waddler gear lever thing feels very spongy, and I don't like this. It feels more like my 335 than what this feels, and I love the way this feels. The weighted gear knob just helps with throwing those gears in. So now let's talk about downshifts in this specific configuration. So E92 M3 manual, because this can be very fun but also very painful in terms of you not being able to kind of get them, because as I've said, this gearbox is a lot more difficult compared to like doing downshifts in my 1.9 turbo diesel Golf, even like other petrol engines, like in the Audi, the 2-liter 1 petrol, 1.8 liter petrol with turbos, without turbos. But again, each car has a different feel, but the more power you have, I feel, the more sensitive the throttle actuator is, the harder it is going to be in general. So first off, let's talk about undershooting. So undershooting is when you bleep your throttle pedal and your RPM error won't be as high as it needs to be. One way to save this is to release the clutch slowly and to release it gently. When do you need to do this? It takes time for you to understand, but in this split millisecond, you will make a decision and you will feel if the decision was made correctly. If you don't make the proper decision, your car is going to kind of yank. Now let's talk about just the ideal downshift. Very easy. You bleep the throttle pedal and it lands perfectly where you need to be. You release the clutch in 2 stages, pull back to where it bites, and then slowly, gently release off the very last stage of your clutch pedal, and then you're basically there. This is the ideal downshift. Okay, currently bit of a different setup. Hopefully the color balance and stuff is correct. Now the GoPro overheated once again. Every single time I use it, I don't think there has been a single time I have used my GoPro where it did not overheat. So I'm gonna be looking into the DJI Osmo. Maybe we can get one sent over just to see, but yeah, for now, I'm not getting another GoPro until I test out other action cameras, because this is a complete joke. It wasn't even recording in 4K and it's not even warm. Now, let's talk about overshooting. And there is a very, 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 very big reason you don't often see people in E90X manual doing downshift rev matches in lower RPM. That is because it is difficult. It's more difficult than higher RPM. Now, higher RPM is far more easy. Now, that changed the third, a bit too aggressive, but if you were to downshift this car on lower RPM, you would only need about 500 RPM. If you lightly tap the throttle pedal, it goes slightly above 500. Like, that's how aggressive the throttle actuator is. Like, let me see. So I'm gonna go, yeah, like what I mean, like, you can actually do it, but like, you have to tap it so gently that like you will barely feel the throttle. It's not like you're, let's say, going in 6th, 3000 RPM, where you actually have to kind of press it. Like, you have to be so gentle, and I guarantee you most of the time it is very, very difficult to stay gentle. So what I recommend, if you do it properly, is in lower RPM, you want to still give it a bleep on your throttle pedal, but release the clutch slower. You will end up overshooting, but you will catch it on the way back if you do it properly. You don't want to overshoot too much. Again, it's not the same as going from, like, let's say 5th 3000 RPM to like 4th in about 4000. In lower RPM, what it almost feels like is you having to bleep the throttle pedal as you're releasing the clutch, where like usually you do the thing at the same time. So you release the clutch and you bleep the throttle pedal at the same time. But if you're in lower RPM on this car, it feels like you have to release, and once you release, then bleep the throttle pedal to actually properly catch that RPM range, which is kind of frustrating if you don't know what you're doing. Like I was at the start. When I was learning downshifts in this car, I was trying it on lower RPM, which was a big mistake. Like, don't be afraid to go above 3000 RPM. This car likes high RPM. Like, it really likes high RPM. Now that was to about 5000 from, what was it, 4th to 3rd, and it felt so much better, so much alive compared to downshifting in lower RPM range. Now there's one thing which you can do, I have done this at the start, is you can turn off this power or not to use M mode. Essentially what this does is it makes your throttle actuator not as responsive, meaning that tapping the throttle pedal won't give you that high of a spike in your engine RPM, which is something that may help you at the start to feel out the downshift. This feels so incredibly good, and I don't know how I'm going to survive the winter without being able to drive this car much. In terms of traffic and driving the manual in traffic, I highly recommend turning off M mode, turning off the power, and using the non-aggressive throttle actuator setting, because if you do have it in the aggressive mode, you're gonna get tired really quickly. But when it's with power off, it's actually very manageable, and like, this car is definitely not the worst in traffic when it comes to manual, if you do know what you're doing and if your settings aren't on like the balls to the wall M Sport setting. If you do have a manual E90X, let me know your feelings, because I don't think there is a single person which I know that has a manual version. I know a crap ton of people with the DCT, but I have nobody to talk to when it comes to manual. So if you have some sort of input on manual, if there's a thing which has helped you, do let us know. And this was a nice Porsche 911. Ooh, the yellow was looking fabulous. But one day we're gonna get a nice Porsche. I mean, other than the things I have said, I wouldn't really get too caught up on like downshifts and not being able to get them properly at first. There are worse days, there are good days, there are amazing days, and even when you're driving the car and not paying attention to the RPM, but driving and kind of feeling out the car, most of the time you will actually end up overshooting without even knowing. I've done that so many times. I've watched back the recording, like it felt so smooth. Like it felt so smooth. Like maybe one day I'm gonna get like a bottle of water, I'm gonna place it here, so as I switch gears, you'll be able to see that like it doesn't shake up the bottle too much. Now the sun is just about to go down, and I was meant to record another video which was a POV. I might leave this for tomorrow. The GoPro overheated, there isn't much I can do. I got some reels to film today too, just to get as much content as I can for winter. But do expect a video where I do a POV drive and talk about me driving, and also I'm going to do another foot cam with a POV just so you can see. And again, if you overshoot and do it properly, it's really not as bad. It doesn't hurt the engine. You obviously have to know what you're doing, but it's, again, don't get too caught up. But today I'm actually having a good day where like every single downshift is pretty much bang on target. Again, if you haven't seen like the previous video, I did order a new exhaust, which I'm very happy about. Can't wait to hear what the car sounds like. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about, again, not only the manual version of this car, but the car in general, do let me know. Any video suggestions, ideas, again, leave them down below. And yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and hopefully you're having a good day, and I wish you the very best of the rest of your day. And as always, to the next one. Ooh, I think there were cops there. I shouldn't have done this, but maybe they're a fan of the exhaust sound and the E90 M3 platform. Fingers crossed.